Hey there, my name's Johnny Pugh, in-game character name Sir Livingston, and this is the standard sleeper cache. And this image I created to give you better understanding of the basic layout of the site. Now, as we go through this site video, keep this image in mind. You have a warping area, a tractor beam, a hidden loot area, a frontline backline, and a secret room that I'm not displaying on this image. And of course, you can use that rift to warp to the tractor beam or the hidden loot area. That's essentially the basics, and here's the fit I used. It's a Stratios. We've got a buffer armor fit, a medium AAR, and that's just a basic fit I whipped together to run this site on CC. So here we are warping into the site, standard sleeper cache, data analyzer and relic analyzer required. And really, for this site, recommended T2 relic and data analyzers. T2. These sites are meant for veteran, experienced explorers, people with high skills. Now, this container, you have to hack it to access the next room. This will open a rift into the next room. There it is, pops open. I found this site, my probing strength was about 113, I believe 113 probe base strength, so about 113. I heard some people found it in 109 strength, so you don't need it too high, but you still need it higher than a basic ship. The logistic depot, that is what we were warping into, the 3-roomed site that I showed you in the beginning, that image. All right, we're in. As you can see, we landed in the warping area. There's that rift, and there's the tractor beam, that satellite looking thing. That is a remote defense grid thing, and the most complicated thing about this site I found are those remote defense grid hacks. If you hack a remote defense grid, it switches like frontline defense to backline defense and back and forth, whatever. What you need to know about that wording is that frontline and backline defense is referring to the turning on and turning off, deactivating and reactivating of sentries, of sleeper sentries. So when you hack one of those defenses, it will deactivate like a sentry unit and reactivate it somewhere else, or just deactivate it entirely. So that's essentially what it means. My first time running, I was so confused. What does backline and frontline defense mean? But you know how it is. So here's a defense alarm unit that spawned after I hacked a container. Now, it only gives you 60 seconds to complete this hack, or it will spawn a sleeper extermination device, which is by the sleeper guardians. And so once I see this, I'm like, man, I gotta get out of here. So I start aligning up and getting out of the way, and an explosion occurs. And in this explosion, it causes a rift to be revealed. This gas cloud that was created by the sleeper exterminator, because I failed that alarm hack, expanded. That cloud expanded until it revealed, I guess, it caused the secondary explosion to reveal this rift that you see right there. And what I'm flying to the tractor beam area manually. Now, and I'm hacking a remote defense grid device, and this will switch that one turret off that was shooting at me close range, and that's all it does. It just switched it off, so I'm taking less DPS now. Now, my next goal is to hack the tractor beam. If you hack the tractor beam successfully, it will drag a bunch of mobile depots, depots that you can hack. Those loot containers. Watch, you'll see one appear. And I just flew back and let all the tractor beams scoop all those depots to the tractor beam area so I can hack them. And for some reason, when I got out of range of those sentries, those sleeper sentries, they de-aggroed on me. See, they're still locked, but they stopped shooting at me, and they just continue to shoot at the remote hacking grid unit, which is kind of weird. But I'm not going to complain. They're no longer shooting me, which they do enough DPS. If you're not in like a Tech 3 hull with great resists, they do some significant DPS. Right now what I'm doing, I'm hacking all those containers that the tractor beam tractored to that area. That's essentially what that section is. You hack that tractor beam and it drags a bunch of containers to that middle area, and you hack those things and get all the loots. Now I'm going to mention one thing about the hacking difficulty of these containers. It is pretty significant. As you can see, there are multiple containers that I fail to hack on the first or second time. There's even a couple containers I think I fail entirely, and I can't open. Pretty weird. This is a rift that opened from that explosion, and I'm heading into the secret room, and we'll see what's in there for us. It's really interesting that CCP is creating these kind of sites. It's very good exploration content, the best I've ever experienced in EVE. Literally the best exploration content I've ever experienced in EVE. So they're doing something right. Now this secret room, after I moved a little bit, that hacking grid thing appeared. And if you're successful, it will cause more containers to appear that you can hack to get the loot. But a self-destruct unit will activate, and this will give you 5 minutes to hack through these containers. So in 5 minutes it'll blow up, but you can reset that timer back to 5 minutes if you hack the little self-destruct unit that spawned. If you hack it, it'll, like I'm doing right now, it'll reset it to 5 minutes. So it gives you, I decided, you know, I'm gonna hack 2 of the containers, then go back, reset the timer, then hack the next 2. And it worked out pretty well, but the 4th container of this room, I failed completely. I mean, these hacks were difficult, and I'm using Tech 2 analyzers, max skills, a lot of experience with hacking these grids, and I could not get through this container. It was so challenging, and it's a combination of luck too. If you're unlucky, and it could be like the very last node you check, and by that time you have no coherence left, so very much a challenge. And I don't finish this container. As you see, exploded, self-destruct, and that's the end of that secret room. But I decided, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and try and warp back to the main area. And turns out you can. I warp back and I start working on the warp-in area. I'm going to create the rift. I'm going to activate the rift that will send me to the backline area. Remember the image, backline, frontline, hidden loot area? I'm going to go to the hidden loot area. Now in order to do that, you have to hack those 3 coordinate devices, those 3 coordinate containers. I'm going to approach them right now. Each one of these has a coordinate, X, Y, and Z. So on successful hack, you will get a coordinate, as we see right here. That is what you'll get. So you'll get an X, a Y, and a Z. Once you get all 3, you will open up one of a low power or high power device, put the coordinates inside it, and it will activate the rift. It will make the rift functional to either send you to the tractor beam area or the hidden loot area. Now, low power will send you to the tractor beam, which is shorter distance, low power, short distance, tractor beam. And high power will send you to the hidden loot area, high power, long distance. That is the low power one. As you can see, it says a short distance. It doesn't tell you exactly where it'll send you, but you can assume it'll send you to the tractor beam, which it does. Now this part of the puzzle was pretty simple. I liked that part. Like, I was really confused my first time running this site, and the second time, like, so much clearer. The difference between the first time you run it and the second time is huge. So if you're really confused, don't beat yourself up about it. Trust me, I was really confused my first time. Okay, so I put the coordinates inside the high-powered unit, activated the rift to send me to the hidden loot area at the far end of the site. And as soon as I land, I hack the remote defense grid. This will actually switch the defense settings of the backline to a portion of those defenses from the backline to the front line. And essentially what that does in this situation, it deactivates one of the sentries and it activates it in the middle section. Don't ask me why, it just does it. That's the confusing part about this site. And what I'm doing in the rest of this hidden loot area is that these containers are actually hidden. They're physically hidden from you. You have to manually fly around that structure, that big old structure, and try and get close enough to these invisible structures to make them appear. And what I saw is about 9,000 meters. So 9,000 meters and you will uncover the container. So I went running around and I only found 5 of them. I was roaming around this structure. I only found 5. Some people said there were 6. I can't really confirm that, but I know there's at least 5 of them when I was there. And there was some pretty significant loot in those containers. Remember the image I showed in the beginning? This is the hidden loot area, the backline area. Just got one more container to find here, and there it is. And all in all, man, this site was very interesting. As you see, it drops sleeper loot and then some science skill books, storyline BPCs, polarized weapon BPCs. A great amount of loot can be found in these sites. And these sites are going to be very rare, very challenging, and a bit of a puzzle, right? So hopefully this site video will help you help reveal some of the information for you, make the site less confusing the first time you run it, if you ever find one. But that's all the loot I got from this single site. Quite a bit. And I don't know the values exactly, it's a test server, but that's the standard sleeper cache. And I hope I did a good job covering it. There's a lot of information, a lot of stuff. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.